So I decided to make this video from the request we got regarding connecting Google credential, that is YouTube and the rest. So the way to go about this is you are supposed to know the apps that are owned by Google, the apps that are owned by Meta, and each company, mostly apps owned by them, the way to authenticate them is mostly the same. Now, for example, probably mostly the same way you use to authenticate Instagram is the same way you mostly use to authenticate Facebook, and also same thing with Google, and same thing with Microsoft. All Microsoft apps, you mostly authenticate them the same way. So once you learn how to authenticate one, that's mostly the same method you use to authenticate the remaining. And now when you talk about YouTube, then you should know that YouTube is owned by Google. So the way to authenticate it is the same way you authenticate any other Google app. That is any app that has Google in it: Google Drive, Google Docs, Google Gemini, Google Ads, Google Calendar. It's all the same way for you to authenticate it. So let's start with Drive, then we'll use the same method to authenticate YouTube and other apps so that you understand better. Now to start, okay, let me just add a note somewhere in this workflow. I hope I don't destroy it. Okay, let's use the Google Drive, and let's just use download the file. So what I want most of you to do is, when creating when trying to create credentials, always follow this process where you go, you click on this creating credentials, and always read the documentation. Need help filling out this? Open docs. So always make sure you follow the description in these docs for you to be able to do your authentication. Unless you become a professional where you do not need them, that is where you can decide to do it on your own. But for now, for you to get better guidance, you open these docs and learn. Same thing with the YouTube. You will see this, almost every node has this open docs link where you can go and see the processes. So let's follow this one and see. So this is telling us everything about what we need to authenticate our YouTube. And as you can see, it also mentioned the other apps which can be signed in with Google too: Google Calendar, Google Mail, Google Sheet, Google Sheet Trivia, Google Tags. And this is the prerequisites. These are the things you need before you'll be able to do it. Is you need to create a Google Cloud account. Then you set up this, create Google Cloud Console project, you enable API, configure your OAuth screen, create your Google OAuth credential, then finish your n8n credential. That is basically the steps, and this is more guide on how to do everything. So now to do it, we need to go to the Google console. If I should type console here, it will basically take me to my Google console.cloud.google.com. That is basically the site for Google console. So I want to just go through. Let me go through here. Even if I should click from here, it will still take me to the same site. So cloud.google.com. So once you find yourself in this place, what you should do is to either you click on no, not start with. You need to sign in with your account. So I will sign in with an account that I have not used before, so that it's going to work perfectly. Let me sign in with okay, which account should I use? Okay, let me sign in with Elizabeth. So now I'm signing with Elizabeth. Then where you should go to is the console. This is where we call the Google console. You click on console, and automatically it takes you to console.cloud.google.com. That is the website I mentioned earlier, the site I mentioned earlier. So once it brings you here, all you have to do is to do the necessary setup, and you will be able to get your client ID and client secret. So normal now. We agree to all their terms and let them go. Then what do we do next? Ignore all the other messages. Okay, ignore them. Okay, so what you should do is after that is you are going to the next thing you are going to do is to come here, this search place, this search button, click on it. Then you have to search for any app you want to authenticate. So if you want to authenticate YouTube, what you should search for here is YouTube. And can you see YouTube data API, YouTube analytics API? But mostly for YouTube, this is the main one you have to work with. When I want to authenticate Google Drive, let's say Google Drive. Okay, let me just search Drive. You can see this is it. And when I want to authenticate Google Sheet, you are going to see Google Sheet API. So I said we are going to start with the Google Drive, but it's all the same. Even Google Maps, Google Contacts, all you use the same method. So let's go to Google Drive. Then what is important here is you must click on this enable. Any app that is not enabled, even if the client ID and client secret is correct, it will definitely not work. So you click on this enable. But the next time you come here, you won't see the enable again because you have enabled it. What you will see there is manage. You can click on the manage to do the other proper setup. But for the first time, you have to enable the app. Any app that is not enabled will not work with your current API key and API client secret, client ID. So now it's open. So all you need to do is to set it up, but that is creating a credential. That is the first thing you need to do. But what I want you to know is that this long process we are going to do today is going to be just when it's your first time, when you don't have a console account. You need to set all this thing up. But once you have set all those things, all you need to do is to search and enable the app. So let's get started. Click on create credential. Okay, let's retry. Okay, so credential, what API are you using? Google Drive API. What database will you be accessing? Google data. Okay, your credential. Done. Click on done. Okay. So once you do that, which is the first step. Okay, sorry, I think we didn't click it properly. So let's check. Okay. And you click on next. Okay, let's retrace our steps a bit so we don't get confused. So I think we'll go to the credentials. Okay, so I think we have to go to the credentials first. So you go to the credentials, but first of all you need to configure OAuth screen, and this is our OAuth screen. But let's go through here. Configure OAuth screen. In your OAuth screen, you click on get started, and then you write the name of your app. So because this is your first time, let's just say you just name it with your name or anything. You can decide to name it n8n. You can decide to name it my console or anything you want to name it. user email. This is where you select your email, then you click on next, then you ask you to select the audience who are going to be using your app. And the audience for me is I want to use it for external, available for test users. And I click on next again. Then contact information, I can decide to use my email there too. Elizabeth hope I got it right. Okay, elizabeth@gmail.com. You click on next, then you agree, and then you continue. Then we create an OAuth screen. So once you are done with that, then what you need to do next is to create an OAuth client. And they will ask you for the application type. Let's keep it as web application. So what is the web client's name? Let's just name it web 1. And authorized JavaScript, you ignore this. What is your authorized redirect URI? Now this part is very important. This is where you click on add URI. Then what you do is you go back to your n8n. So you go back to your n8n, then you copy this OAuth, n8n cloud OAuth, copy it. But when it's cloud, it's the same, but when it's hosted, the link will definitely be different. So you copy it, you come here and you paste it, then you click on create. Note it might take 5 minutes or 3 hours for the settings to take effect. So once you do that, can you see that already we now have our client ID, which we can copy, go to n8n, and where we have client ID, we paste it there. Okay, sorry, I think I copied the wrong thing. You copy it, then we paste it. Perfect. So now the next thing we need is a client secret. This is where we this is where we come here. Okay, and you can see here, this is our client secret. Now you copy the client secret, go to that same n8n, and then we put in our client secret. So then you click on save. You can see that credentials successfully created. Then that is where this sign in with Google is going to come up for you, which you have to sign in with the account you created, and everything will work perfectly. But this is going to fail for some reasons, but let us try it so that you see it, then I can go and show you why it failed. So let's click on it, and once we click on it, it will ask you to sign in, and you sign in with the account you created. And now can you see access blocked? n8n cloud has not completed the Google verification process. So there are things we are missing, so we need to go back and fix them before it can work. What are those things? So now okay, let's download this for later. Always download your credentials so you can always reference them. Download it. So once you open it, you can see once you open it, you will always find the client ID and the client secret there. Okay, can you see we have your client ID and client secret? So let's go back and continue. So the reason why it failed is that you need to add your audience. You need to know who has access to that your app. So the first thing we do is to add test users, and the first test user you should add is your email. After you add your email, you can add other people to be test users who can log in with your email, but first of all, your email has to also be as a test user. Okay, so now let's save this. This is our first test user. perfect. So it's here. Then let's check the verification center. So now that we have added our test users, let's go back and try that same thing we tried that field. Let's come back here and let's click on sign in with Google. So if we should click on sign in with Google, it is going to work, but there is a lot of things that is going to fail. That is the scope. The last thing we are supposed to add is the scope. So we can test it and it will connect, but we'll be lacking the scope to do the necessary things. So I think let's just go back and set up the scopes. Then you can continue with the process. So I think the last thing we need to set up is the scope. Okay, so to set up the scope, you go back to your work one. Okay, you go to your data access, and then you click on add or remove scopes. Mostly I love to just click on every scope, but most of the times all you have to do is to search for this specific scope you need. So let's search for Google Drive API and all the scopes that has to do with Google Drive. If you should miss any scope, there are some functions that the app will not be able to do or access. So let's open this so we make sure we don't skip any. Okay, perfect. So I will click on update, and these are the scopes. So mostly for every app you need to add their scopes to here. Like let's say YouTube, you don't have it. Google Sheet, you don't have it here. I'll tick it. Sheet. So I think we have ticked all the scopes. Now that we have all the scopes, we update, and that is all. Then you click on save here. Make sure you save it here. Okay, make sure you click on save. Perfect. So once you click on save, now we go back to our n8n, sign in with Google, and then Elizabeth. Then you click on continue, and you select all. Click on continue, and now you can see our connection is successful. So once your connection is successful, now you can do any form of manipulation you want to do with Google, your folder, and it is going to work perfectly and perfectly fine. So as I said earlier, this same process we did is actually the same process you do when dealing with YouTube. So let me try adding a YouTube note and show you how you go about it. So let's say, let me just use anyone, delete a playlist. So you click on create, but always make sure you name your credentials so you can remember which credential is or what. You can see it also needs client ID, client secret. So basically I told you to always start with here, but for now, since you know the necessary things to do, you can just go back to your API console, and once you go to your console, all you have to do is to go straight to your search. Ignore all the other things you see. Most of the times it might carry you to the main page like this. It might bring you here. Once you search for it, all you have to do is to come here, search for YouTube, because that's YouTube we are trying to connect. Once you search for YouTube, then as I said, you click on enable. So you won't have to do all those boring processes we did at the beginning of this video. All you have to do is to enable it. Once you enable it, you see it brought us to that same page. So once you enable it, you don't need to change anything. You just go to credentials, and in your credentials, you see you already have just copied the client ID, go there, paste it, and you go back, you log into it. You log into it and copy your client secret. You go back and you paste it here, click on save, and you just sign in, and that is all. You don't have to repeat all those boring process. Now you just sign in and let's see what happens. Click on it, continue, select all, and connection successful. So with this now you can do any manipulation you want to do on YouTube. You can post videos, do several things. So you can also try with other Google apps, Google Calendar, and you see there's a lot to do. So I think I am going to stop here about the documentation, and let's hope for other videos regarding other forms of authentication. So let's try this out. Thank you.